The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
It's Q101.
Ahoy! Let's go! We're waking up Chicago. Turn up the radio. It's time to start the show. On Q101 with the Morning Crew. Ahoy! Let's go! Welcome to the morning show.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Let's go. It is 6:05, and we have a lot for you today if you like free stuff. We've got, of course, 7:10. Let's start there with Clash with Kenzie. Q101 Twisted Night 4 tickets coming up for the Gaslight Anthem and Young the Giants. That's at 7:10. 8 o'clock, the Black Keys for Night 1 plus the first listen, which means you will get tickets and get to hang out with them while they play songs for you that haven't been released, and you can say, like, I don't like that one so much. Meh.
You don't get to do that.
I mean...
This is not album final decisions that you devote at the end. This is not what it is. But you do get to hear music first that they already really like.
I think it's going to be great. I think this stuff is amazing. I love their last album, and I think this one's probably going to be amazing too. The one coming up in 2024. I'm just saying, if you're right there with the band, you might as well say, I like it. The solo could have been a little shorter here or longer here. I would do that. I probably wouldn't do that.
That's what you would say to him.
I don't know.
You're like, in all my experience from the makeshift bands I've put together.
I have put together bands with listeners. I put together my band with my brother Steve. I've had some bands in high school. I was in a band called Various Artists was the name of my band.
Wow. You guys couldn't even have an identity then?
Well, no, because we were all so different. Like, I played basketball.
I bet you're also unique.
Oh, Kenzie.
In high school.
You have no idea how unique this band was.
You played basketball, so you're just a man of many faces.
I was not, but I was the kind of, I guess, jock guy. Then there was a nerd, and then there was a burnout. And so the band was all different kinds of people put together.
You were the jock of the group? That group was so unathletic. You were the jock of the group.
I was a 2-year starter.
On JV or varsity?
Oh, varsity.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Yeah, 2 years varsity. I had to think about it. I did play 1 year JV, 1 year freshman ball. So that was my
So
jock
just the normal trajectory for everybody in high school.
It's a funny.
Oh, my mom started signing me up in 5th grade. I don't want to brag. What?
It's kind of funny because I got mono my senior year and didn't play the whole year, but you had to play 10 games to qualify as saying you still played varsity. Mm-hmm. I didn't play 10 games. They just said, like, just give it to him.
In terms of, like, what, this went on your permanent record that you played varsity basketball?
Well, you got a pin to add on to your letter jacket of the letter of the coat. If you were a 2-year letterman, a 3-year letterman, a 4-year letterman. So I had my letter, which said 1 year. I needed the pin to get the 2nd year starter.
Wasn't it a thing in your high school where, the women wore the varsity jackets to, mean they were, scandalous or something?
They were going together.
Yeah.
Yes. Scandalous is a different way to say that.
I think they were
I want to
just
say
dating.
a worse word. I couldn't think of scandalous.
Hey, there's a whore.
That's what
The
I
letter
wanted to
jacket.
say.
I just think it means they were dating. It's like borrowing a sweatshirt case. I don't think it.
No,
Yeah.
I
It
think those
didn't mean
whores
you
were
gave a
wearing varsity
blowy
jackets.
before class. It just was like we were together.
Yeah. And I was
Did
never.
anybody wear your jacket?
Brian gave it to his brother.
Do you want to know the truth of that question?
What? Yeah.
Well, you're right. No, I never had a girlfriend.
Somebody else in your band wore it.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and coming up, a fact that makes your brain go. Do it at 6:30, and this is
What do
pretty.
you got for me, baby?
This one is serious. Everybody needs to hear this. Listen to my voice, okay? You are about to lose a ton of stuff you have saved on the internet. I'll tell you how and why and where and how to save it coming up at 6:30. But tomorrow is the day that you're going to lose a bunch of crap on the internet that you have saved, in your own files. And again, I'll explain it more when we come back. But
Okay, just to rule something out, because I'm sure somebody's going to think this, because I would think this and be like, burp, I don't care. Is this hard drive related?
it is not hard drive related.
Okay, because that makes it more interesting to me because I'm not a hard drive person.
I'm still a external hard drive person, and I think most people think that's kind of archaic at this point, but I don't trust the system. I don't trust, even though I'm on the cloud, I don't trust the cloud.
I don't get the cloud. I don't understand what it means.
Case, explain
Everything tells, like, it's always like, what's in the cloud? I'm like, where's the cloud? Where's my cloud?
Case-
Do we each have, like, our own cloud? I'm like, where are you? And then, like, everyone that talks about your cloud getting hacked.
Exactly.
Are my nudes in the cloud? We don't know.
Oh,
we don't know.
Your nudes are in the cloud.
Yours?
Oh, no. Is it a safe cloud?
It doesn't seem like it.
Uh-oh.
My nudes are in the bottom of the ocean, but your nudes are in the cloud.
I'm like, can I put them somewhere else, not in a cloud? Like, I don't know what to do.
I look to the sky and I see you naked in a cloud.
I'm like, this is embarrassing. Can't we put it somewhere else?
So, we're going to save Kenzie's nudes in a cloud.
No.
Coming up at 6:30.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie, time for a fact that makes your brain go. And this is a very serious day today, that if you don't do one thing today before tomorrow, you will lose tons of stuff you've done on the internet. One thing we've confirmed is that Kenzie's nudes are in the sky when you look at the clouds over Lake Michigan right now. There's these beautiful
I've just been
clouds up
trying
there.
to figure out. They're like, sent to the cloud. I'm like, where?
Yeah. So here's the deal. If you have a Gmail account that you haven't used in 2 years, Google is going to delete those starting tonight at midnight.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. You do?
Yes.
Why?
What? Because so my husband and I worked together before I even knew you were alive, Brian.
That's a fact of where my brain goes. Yeah,
so
yeah.
my husband and I, obviously, we do TV together. We have our TV show on the Marquee Network.
It's called the MVP Game. It's a great
Yeah.
show on there about the Cubs, a game show, trivia Cubs thing.
It's very fun. If you want to be on it, you can apply. MVPGame.com. Anywho. But we went to start an email because we, like, with our brand and stuff, when people would reach out to us to host charity events or to be on the TV show, all these things. And Kenzie and Roman at gmail.com was taken. How weird is that?
That is pretty weird.
Kenzie and like, listen, anybody's name could be taken. There's gonna be somebody else with that name.
Yeah.
But a conjunction of two people together with the word "and" in the middle of it, I'm like, okay. Maybe it was like a wedding email used. I wonder if somebody else, like, who got married used it to RSVP or something.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we were so bummed, and we had to get like a Kenzie and Roman show at gmail.com, and it's fine, but it's long.
Yeah.
It's such a long email. Like when you type it into text, half of it has to go to the next line.
Yeah.
You know, it's so long. So I would love to be able to like get just our email because I don't think it's in active use.
So you have to wait up till midnight tonight and see if it gets.
Yes.
Now, those people might keep it. If you haven't used it in 2 years, this is what's going to happen. Google's going to start deleting the Gmail accounts from 2 years of inactiveness. Now, if you want to keep that account, if you say like, oh my God, I have this account with a bunch of pictures, because I store so much audio and pictures on my Gmail account.
Wait, you never log into it?
No, I log into it every day.
Well, then you're fine.
Correct. But I'm saying if somebody has that stuff on there and they maybe just forgot about it. I started a new account, whatever. All you got to do is log in and then go read an email. If you do that, you have to read it. You can't just log in. You've got to read an email or go to YouTube and watch a video, because Google and YouTube are together. They own each other.
You could watch some of our lounge performances
Could
or
do that.
interviews on YouTube.
Q101's got a great YouTube page, so
So
go
if you're
there.
trying to save your account, go ahead and do it on YouTube.
There you go. Good plug. I like that. So log in and then either read an email or watch a YouTube video through that account, obviously, and that will save your Gmail account if you have not used it in 2 years. That's the only way it's going to get deleted. So you're going to be fine otherwise.
This is good, though, because I do think a lot of people launch emails for weddings and events, or they think they're going to start a business and it doesn't start.
Yep,
and
yeah.
things like that. So this is good because it really does take up all the names, and you have to have like numbers after your name. It's getting crappy, and honestly, I think every email should do this, because I do the same thing with listen, I got my own personal Gmail for the first time a few months ago.
Oh, Megan did too. I talked her into it.
Yeah, my husband talked me into it. What is it with husbands and like being concerned about like what email server? My husband's like, you're alone. You're the only person who uses Hotmail.
Megan used Hotmail.
Oh my God.
What? Case, you got a Hotmail account
And
still
like this
active? Case the
upsets
producer.
men.
No,
Hotmail
no.
upsets men.
I would never use a Hotmail, and I wouldn't trust my girlfriend if she had a Hotmail. We
He's
are
like,
a Gmail
this is
family.
embarrassing. I go, what? It's like we're getting coupons, so why are we embarrassed? I don't
Yeah.
understand.
I've never agreed with him more. I really would have a hard time if my girl had a Hotmail. If I was hitting the pillow
don't
every night with her, I
understand.
couldn't do it.
No, Megan had.
I'm a big MSN girl. And it's
Famously.
just right there.
Yeah. Kenzie gets her prep from MSN, and me and Case
love
always
him.
laugh
It
at
has
it.
like the weirdest news.
I mean, Case gets his CNN notifications. You know, that's also pretty funny.
I'm an informed citizen. Nothing wrong
Sure.
with that.
MSN is just like a cesspool of information. It's just so random, and I love it.
So, how many emails do you think you have?
What do you mean?
Like different, like you have an MSN, you have a Hotmail, now you have a Gmail.
No, so Hotmail, because MSN has changed their email a bunch of times, so now it's Outlook. But
Oh.
at one point in time, it was Hotmail.
Yeah.
So I think it went MSN, then Hotmail, then Outlook. So it's the same. Like you go to like Outlook.com to log into your Hotmail. It is a disaster.
Oh.
I understand. So all I have is my work one, which is Cumulus,
Right.
and then my old personal one, which I'm kind of now turning into like my junk email. Like every time I like, sign up for these coupons, whatever. It's that one.
That's the Outlook now.
Yeah, or like say I'm like all my invoices go through there. Like I'm booking all this stuff for my baby shower. I'm using that email because I don't want to start getting like pamphlets and crap.
Sure.
And then I have my personal Gmail, and then my husband and I have a Gmail.
There's a lot of people
It's like 4.
There's a lot of people checking in. They say you still have an active AOL email.
Yes.
I have one.
Do you have an AOL?
So I don't. It still exists. I don't go to it ever, but it just didn't go away. And it's Brian
it just
Haddad.
didn't go away.
It's
What do you mean?
It's Brian Haddad at 69 at AOL.com.
You're always just making promises you can't catch, baby.
Oh man.
I wanted to make that joke, and I figured it was like too low of a hanging fruit. I was like, there's no way Brian actually has 69 in his email.
Nope.
Boy, was I wrong.
Nope, it's real. It exists. It's still out there. I know it's shocking.
My old boss in Minneapolis, when he first started like air checking me and stuff, he's like, hey, like just, send it to my email. And he gave me his email. And it was the first time I'd actually seen an AOL email.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, you're gonna burst into dust at any point. He's like, F you. He was so mad.
He didn't even bother to the work content in the email. It was more about having an
I'm
AOL.com
like, good
email.
Lord.
Oh, 630 checked, and I still have a Lycos email. I remember Lycos.
I don't remember Legos.
A lot of people still have Hotmail accounts going too. A lot of people
Thank
checking
you.
in. But Megan, yeah, men don't like Hotmail, I think, and all three
Yeah,
of
it makes, and like literally my husband's like, you have to get a Gmail. You have to get a Gmail. I only got a Gmail because I was so tired of hearing about it. Like I got bullied into like, okay, fine.
It is.
Just leave me alone.
Whenever Megan would send things here for me to print out, it comes to the Hotmail account. I go, just text it to me. I'll then forward it to my Gmail because I don't want to see Hotmail
men
pop
are
up.
like hypersensitive about what email you use. It is so weird.
Probably because men like me and your husband, and I don't know about Case, but you use that Hotmail account back in the day as kind of a burner Hotmail. You know what I mean? And it brings back bad memories.
What do you mean? How many burner did you have? So Brian had had 69 wasn't your burner? That was like your work email?
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie, Q101, and we were just talking in the fact today that makes your brain go that you have to log into an old Gmail account if you have one that you haven't opened in 2 years. If you don't do that today, that account's going to disappear at midnight tonight, or at least start disappearing, as Google is going to get rid of them to clear out stuff. Now, if you want to save it, just log in and read an email or go to a YouTube video through that account, and that will save it. That's all you got to do.
That's it.
Super easy. So a lot of people checking in on email accounts they still have active. One person checked in, had 5 Yahoo emails and 2 Gmail accounts.
That's insane.
It wouldn't get too confusing. I have this work email and Gmail, and besides the AOL account I mentioned, Brian had 69, it still exists. You can, send me your email there. I haven't logged into that one in years. I don't know what's going to happen there, but it's still active. I know that.
Is that where you store your nudes?
That's right. Yeah, yours are in the cloud. Mine are at the AOL account.
Can you try to get into that email and see what's in there?
I will try. Case, do you
What do
remember?
you think your password is?
That's the problem. You have,
What do you think it is?
I used to use, and I can say this because I don't use it on anything anymore. I want to think for a second. But I used to, because everybody hated it, and for me it was a little joke to myself, was moist something. Like everybody hates that word moist. Don't you hate that word?
That was your Brian had had 69 and your password was moist. Whatever.
But I remember one time I got locked out. I had to call customer service. And they said, "What's your password, sir?" And I went, M-O. This woman was like, okay, I think I got where we're going here.
Let me save you some time.
I didn't want to say moist. I said, oh. Case, do you remember last week when I tried to log into my old MySpace account?
Yes.
So, did you have a MySpace account, Kenzie? I don't know.
No, I wasn't allowed to. Remember, I got grounded because there was a chat feature on a video game that I didn't use. I was not allowed to have MySpace. All my friends did.
Oh, I loved MySpace, but it still exists as well. Mine was myspace.com/Sludge Nation, because I was Sludge back in the day here on Q101.
Sludge Nation.
But
Party of one in that nation. The world's smallest nation.
that was a huge nation, a nation of sludges. And MySpace was so good, and you can actually log in the old account if you remember. It took me a while to figure out the password, but I kept resetting it and it worked. And then I logged in there, and Case, what was the title of the interview in there at my MySpace account? So I posted interviews like radio show stuff, just like we do on our YouTube now and on Q101.com and Instagram and Facebook on Q101. But I posted on my MySpace an old interview I did with Dana White, who runs the UFC. You know who he is, Kenzie? The Fighting League. He's a bald guy. You've probably seen him on TV.
Oh, the bald one, yeah.
The bald guy who's, a maniac.
So Brian is waxing poetically to me about the power of MySpace and how great it was and how great his page was, Kenzie, and how, oh man, Case, you should have been there. You should have seen my MySpace. So I
mean, who says that? Who has so little going on that's what they can brag about, by the way?
He might be exaggerating a bit.
No, not at all. So I Google Sludge Nation MySpace just to see if I can find Brian's old page. And the only thing that comes up is an interview with Brian and Dana White. And the title of the interview is Dana White calls Randy Couture gay. And Randy Couture is a UFC fighter.
You need to delete that account. Lord knows what's on there.
I can't. It's already up somehow. I can't delete it.
It's the only thing surviving from the wreckage of MySpace.
Not good.
It's like with an exclamation mark at the end. Dana White calls Randy Couture gay! Exclamation mark.
And Randy Couture was a great UFC fighter. I have no idea why you can't access the interview. Just the title's there. You can't go in and listen to it. But
Thank God.
Listen.
How about you sing praises to the Lord that nobody can access that interview?
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We'll get to sports, talk more of some of the fallout from the Blackhawks scandal that we talked about yesterday a lot on the show here with Brian and Kenzie. But first, it's Gil Curtis with your first look at headlines.
This is not headline news. Taylor Swift is staying at Travis Kelce's house in Kansas City. For more on this story, consult a teenage girl or a very sad housewife. Kraft is going to start selling macaroni and plant-based cheese. So now Kraft has two products without a trace of real cheese. Billy Idol turned 68 today. These days, when he says more, he's asking for another serving of butterscotch pudding. Walmart is recalling peaches, plums, and nectarines linked to a listeria outbreak. This will impact the 5 Walmart customers who go there to buy fruit. And speaking of Walmart, today is Meth Awareness Day. This is not headline news.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.